to the Bias Plus reports for week 14 of the 2024-2025 season. Again, the Bias Plus reports is where we take those differentials in a matchup, and the team with the highest net points is generally going to be what we call favored, and the difference you'll see in that number is why they're favored there. Let's look at Thursday. You like where I got that up there, Benny? Thursday night.
Yeah.
Packers at Lions. Bias Plus score 8.1 favors the Lions. That makes sense, right?
You think that makes sense?
Absolutely.
Oh, you mean the bias makes sense?
Yeah.
Or the fact that the Lions are favored makes sense?
Both.
Yes, I would say that makes sense. However, well, let's get into it. So the Packers are 9-3. The Lions are 11-1 with a bullet, as they say in the record business. Lions will be the home team here. Let's talk about them first. Now, last weekend, they scored on their first 4 possessions at home against the Bears. First 4 possessions they scored. A Jared Goff touchdown pass to Sam Laporta and 3 Jake Bates field goals gave them a 16-0 halftime lead. Another Goff to Laporta touchdown pass late in the third quarter made it 23-7. Seemed like they were running away with it. But an accumulation of defensive injuries, let's remember, we were just complimenting Detroit's defense along the way around middle of the season and getting going further, but they've sustained a bunch of injuries. They, in fact, lost 4 defensive players during this game. That's crazy. But anyway, while that was going on, the Chicago Bears kind of scratched and clawed their way back into the game and into position to tie the score at 23 and take the game in overtime. But in the overtime, they mismanaged the clock and blew their chance, making the final score a win for the Lions at 23-20. I will go into that mismanagement when we get to talking about the Bears later on. Now, the Packers took command early with a balanced attack that they never let the Dolphins threaten and a stout defense, and they took care of business 30-17. It was the 7th win out of their last 8 games. Jordan Love connected with number 1 wideout Jaden Reed for 2 touchdowns, and Josh Jacobs had 1 on the ground, and they had no turnovers at all. The defense shut down the Miami run game, and they recorded 9 tackles for loss. They sacked 2 of 5 times, and they hit him 6 times. The Lions should be favored in this game as they are. However, this is a bit of a trap game, I would think. The Packers have shown some pretty good signs of life here lately, and they really did handle themselves very well against the Dolphins, but they were at home for that one. I think to be on the safe side, I don't know. A lot of defensive injuries, especially in that secondary. I'm going to take the Packers to pull the upset.
Well, one thing I did do with this, and this is because of some things I'm thinking about doing with the net point rankings in the near future, but just to kind of understand where Vegas stands on these games, especially relative to what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. Vegas is -3 favoring the Lions right now. So what's that, a field goal?
That's a field goal.
And they're home.
Right.
That's the home field advantage. They give it to them like that. And you're absolutely right. We always mention, these are based on what you've done through the season and, over that season. They can't necessarily account for last week's injury. Quarterback goes down, you got a brand new quarterback, your numbers under that new quarterback probably won't reflect what's been happening all season, unless you got a really good backup, But I mean, that's just what it is. But at least you know what the numbers were. That's your point of reference. So when it
right.
goes up or goes down, how that diverges. But you've decided to go against the bias and go with those Green Bay Packers. All right. Well, I would say Chris would be happy, but he been running around in the Eagle jersey so much. I don't know.
Dude, I was going to say something to you about that later.
I've tried to
What's he doing, man?
man, and I tried
Bro,
to
you
train.
raised him better than that.
I
I know
did.
you did.
Okay, thank you. It makes me feel
I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't worry.
between me effing Christmas.
Sheesh.